Are you ready to appeal your parking fine? I'll walk you through the steps that you need to take, whether it's a council-issued penalty charge notice or a private parking charge notice. A penalty charge notice comes from the local council when you commit a parking offence on public land. So it could be something like overstaying in a parking bay or parking in a restricted area. Then there's a parking charge notice issued by private companies when you breach their parking terms on private property. So things like overstaying in a supermarket car park or maybe breaking the rules that they display on the sign. Here's how to challenge a penalty charge notice. When you first get the ticket, act fast. For those tickets handed to you or just left on your car, start with an informal appeal within 14 days. This involves contacting the council through their website or writing a letter. If your PCN arrives through the post, you have up to 28 days to make a formal appeal. You'll need to write a representation letter explaining why the ticket was wrongly issued and back up your claims with solid evidence. So this might include things like photos or receipts or witness statements. Don't forget to provide your name, address, vehicle registration number and the PCN reference number. After you've submitted your appeal, the council then has 56 days to respond. If they don't reply within this period, then you win by default and the fine's cancelled. If your appeal's successful, you'll receive confirmation that the fine's white. If not, you'll get a notice of rejection explaining why they denied your appeal and outlining how you can escalate your case if you disagree with their decision. Now, on the flip side, a parking charge notice from a private company usually means that you didn't follow the rules on private property, like a supermarket car park. Now, these tickets might be left on your car or mailed to you if the violation was caught on CCTV. Here's what you need to do if you get one. Start by contacting the private parking company or the landowner directly and ask them to withdraw the fine. You'll need a valid reason and some supporting evidence. If this is your informal appeal, then the company's got 56 days to respond. And if they don't, well, you win automatically. If your informal appeal doesn't work, then don't worry, you can escalate your case. Now, since private companies don't accept formal appeals directly, you'll need to take your case to an independent tribunal. You can go to the Independent Appeal Services, IAS, and that's if the company is a member of the International Parking Community, or to Parking on Private Land Appeals, POPLA, if the company is part of the BPA, which is the British Parking Association. Now, before you do anything, make sure that the company is a member of an ATA, that's an accredited trade association. If they're not, then they can't request your details from the DVLA, which limits their enforcement powers. When it comes to appealing, timing and evidence are everything. Don't pay the fine if you plan to appeal, because paying up is meaning that you're accepting guilt and then you lose a chance to contest it. Provide as much evidence as possible to support your appeal, whether you're dealing with a council or a private ticket. Take photos of unclear signs, send proof of payment or documentation of a broken parking machine. It can all be really helpful. You can appeal a parking ticket for several reasons. Maybe you hold a blue badge and you were parked correctly. Perhaps the 10-minute grace period wasn't given, or the ticket wasn't issued within the required time. You might have parked correctly and the ticket was a mistake, or you paid but the system failed. Sometimes unclear road markings or signage or a malfunctioning parking machine can be really good grounds for appeal. If you have mobility issues, so if you're pregnant, you've got a young baby, it's worth knowing about the 2010 Equality Act. Each situation needs evidence to back it up, so be prepared to gather and present all your evidence effectively. Issuing authorities have specific deadlines for giving out tickets and responding to appeals. Councils must issue a penalty charge notice within 28 days of the parking violation, while private companies have 14 days to issue a parking charge notice. Once you appeal, the decision should come within 56 days, and if not, you win by default. If your appeal gets rejected, then don't lose hope. For penalty charge notices from the council, you can escalate your appeal to the General Regulatory Chamber. For private parking charge notices, you'll take it to the appropriate independent appeal service, so either the IAS or Poplar. It just depends on the company's ATA membership. Now, ignoring a parking ticket is never a good idea. Both councils and private companies will pursue unpaid fines, which could lead to court action and additional costs. It's better to pay the ticket or go through the formal appeals process. Parking tickets are civil matters, not criminal offences, so the penalties are financial rather than criminal. This keeps your record clear of criminal charges. To avoid getting another parking ticket, make sure that you park in a designated bay and don't cross the lines. Always read and follow the parking signs and the terms and conditions. Paying the correct fee and considering paying for more time than needed can also help. If you're unsure about the car park's rules, you can take a picture of the sign. That can help you to be on the safe side. Now, by following these tips, you can effectively navigate the appeals process and reduce the chances of facing parking fines in the future. If you're wondering if your appeal would be successful, you might want to chat with online solicitors JustAnswer. They're currently running a £5 trial and you can ask as many questions that you've got in their online chat. I'll leave a link under this video, and if you do use it, you'll be supporting the Debt Advice service, so thanks.